Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Verena. I'm working with the Scale team at FAO headquarters, and I welcome you to today's Water Tenure Monday. Today, we will hear about water protection zone in Laos, innovations for integrated water and natural resource management. A few useful tips for this session. Please keep your microphone muted. And if you experience any issues, you can't hear, you can't see, please write a message in the chat or contact Sophia Espinosa directly. The session will be recorded. And also, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. So this Water Tenure Monday session builds on the Water Tenure Mondays that were held in 21 and 22. And they brought together actually more than 1,800 participants from all over the world to advance the discussion on water tenure at global level. And our current series is now focused on Asia and the Pacific. We aim to share lessons, foster dialogue, and build a shared understanding of water tenure, preparing also for the regional dialogue on water tenure that's planned for May 2026, for May this year, obviously. Through case studies, practical tools, and regional experiences, this series aims to strengthen understanding of water tenure and to demonstrate how water tenure approach can actually help identify challenges and opportunities to recognize and protect water tenure rights. This is particularly for smallholder farmers, fisherfolk, and other rural communities in support of a more equitable and sustainable water governance. We are organizing this series in collaboration with the Global Water Partnership in Southeast Asia. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our moderator, Raymond Valiant, who is an acting coordinator of Global Water Partnership in Southeast Asia. Raymond, over to you.
Thank you, Verena. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining from. Welcome to this webinar. Since 2024, the Lao Water Partnership has worked closely with the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment of Lao People's Democratic Republic. This ministry was newly formed from the merger of the former Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment and the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. Together, they have focused now on core activities related to water resources management. And today we will be listening to an activity, Water Resources Protection Zone, which this work closely aligns with this today's webinar theme, as water allocation is a central part of the protection zones. Participants, a zoning defines actually what water can be used for, such as agriculture, household supplies, and also sets rules to prevent harmful activities that will directly shape how water is prioritized for drinking water, farming, fishing, and any other local livelihoods. At the same time, strengthening the capacity of local authorities and communities is closely linked to the effective water allocation process and also water governance. Today, we will discuss a few things. First, how Water Resources Protection Zone in Laos can support a water tenure approach and multi-sectoral pathways towards sustainable water resources management. We also will learn about how these protection zones were developed and implemented, and how community-based coordination mechanisms and local governance innovations are applied. We look forward to have a lively and engaging discussion. Thank you for joining us today. But allow me now to kindly introduce His Excellency, Mr. Audumsak Pilavong, which is the Director General of the Department of Water Resources of Lao People's Democratic Republic. Mr. Audumsak will be asked kindly to deliver his opening remarks, and due to the limit time, His Excellency, we will kindly ask you to deliver this in about 5 to 6 minutes. Time is yours, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Raymond. Distinguished colleagues from FAO and GWP Southeast Asia, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening for those who joining from other part of the globe. It is a great pleasure for me to join this Water Tenure Mondays webinar and to share the experience of the Lao People's Democratic Republic. On behalf of the Department of Water Resources and the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, I would like to sincerely thank FAO Regional Office for Asia and Pacific and the Global Water Partnership Southeast Asia for organizing this timely and very important regional dialogue. As you know, that water is a critical resource for livelihoods, food security, ecosystems, and economic development in Lao PDR. However, we are facing an increasing challenge from climate change, rapid development, land use change, and growing competition among water users. These pressures highlight the need for stronger water governance, clear allocation mechanism, and inclusive participation as the key elements of the water tenure concepts. In this regard, water tenure is highly relevant for our region. It helps us to better understand who can access and use water for what purposes and under what conditions. More importantly, water tenure is closely linked with lands, forests, fisheries, and ecosystem and cannot be addressed in isolation. In Lao PDR, we are translating these principles into practice through water and water resources protection zones. In 2024, the government of Lao PDR issued the new national agreement and the guidelines for water and water resolution protection zones. This agreement and guidelines support the protection of water quality and quantity, prioritize water for domestic use, manage flood and drought risk, and guide sustainable allocation in the community level. Our water resource protection zones are not only environmental tools, they also function as practical mechanisms for water allocation and governance. Through zoning, we define permitted and restricted use of water, reduce conflicts among users, and strengthen coordination among water management and land use planning. In 2025, we initiated pilot implementation of these guidelines, applying scientific tools such as GIS mapping and climate vulnerability data while emphasizing strong community participation. Women, ethnic groups, and vulnerable households are actively involved, which helps strengthen local ownership and equitable water governance. Today's webinar provides an excellent opportunity to share our experience, lessons learned, and remaining challenges. We hope that Lao PDR case will contribute to the regional and global dialogue on the water tenure and support collective learnings across Asia and the Pacific. In closing, I would like to reaffirm Laos PDR's commitment to sustainable and integrated water resources management and to continue collaboration and cooperation with FAO, GWP Southeast Asia, and all partners. I encourage all participants to actively engage in today's discussion. Thank you very much and wish a successful webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's always encouraging to hear you online or even offline. And it's always inspiring to see that Lao is moving forward in commitments and also initiatives to create a better water governance for the best of the people. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your remarks that we have noted dutifully. Participants, and now I would like to continue our webinar by inviting the speakers on behalf of Lao. First of all, it's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Sengpasuk Sayafong, which is the Deputy Director of Policy Division at Lao Department of Water Resources at the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment. She oversees water resources management, planning, capacity building, and awareness. Ms. Sayafong is also a national focal point for the ASEAN Working Group on Water Resources Management and an alternate steering committee member of the Lao Water Partnership. She will be assisted and joining by her by Mr. Manotam Sihafong, the technical officer at the Department of Water Resources, that since 2014, he has been specializing in water use permitting, wastewater regulation, water quality management, and protection zone management. So today we have a strong team of speakers, and I would like to thank once again the Department of Water Resources of the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment of Lao PDR for enabling this webinar. Each speaker has 10 minutes. So, Mr. Sengpasuk Sayafong, please, time is yours.
Yes. So, good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you, FAO and WRPZ, for the opportunity to share Laos PDR experience under the Water Tenure Mondays series. So today we will present how water and water resource protection zone recently strengthened through the national guideline issued in 2024 serve as a practical entry point for the water tenure, water allocation, and integrated natural resource management in Lao PDR. Our presentation directly responds to the webinar keys question on how water tenure is applied in practice and how it's linked to land, forests, and ecosystems, and how governance mechanisms can be strengthened at the local level. This initiative included in the amended law on water and water resource number 23, National Assembly 2017, which established principles for the water management, protection, and development. From a water tenure perspective, this law is classified the role of the state, communities, and users in accessing, using, and protecting water. It recognizes water not only as an economic input, but as a public good essential for livelihood, food security, and national safety. This reflects the concept discussion in the Global Water Tenure Dialogue. Water tenure is inseparable from governance, institution, and public responsibility. The establishment of conservation zones strengthen water allocation decision by defining where and how water can be used. This zone functions as a tenure-based management tool, classifying priorities such as drinking water, ecosystem protection, and livelihood use. In the Asia-Pacific context, where water is shared across sections and communities, zoning helps reduce conflict and ensure equitable and sustainable access, which is a core objective of the Water Tenure Mondays series. The objectives go beyond environmental protection. They aim to improve institutional coordination, ensure safe and sufficient water supply, and support effective implementation of national water law. From the water tenure lens, the objective define who can use water for what purpose and under what condition, which is essential for transparent and accountable water governance. Lao PDR has identified 8 categories of protection zone, includes drinking water source, flood and drought risk area, wetland, groundwater recharge zones, and area of ecological and cultural significance. This clearly shows that water tenure cannot be separated from land, forest, biodiversity, and cultural heritage. Directly address one of the key questions of this paper. Can water tenure be dislocated from other resource system? Our experience shows that it cannot. Next, I will hand over to my colleagues to present the next.
Okay, thank you. Name is Manutham Sihabong from the Department of Water Resource here. So I want to introduce a presentation for management of water and water resource conservation zone. It is a strong detailed framework. Implementation has been limited to do the data gave based on standard still process route and limited technical capacity at sub-national levels. And now we are Department of Water Resource. We have the pilot implement focus on key zone, have the 4 zone. The second, the first is nomadic water consumption zone. Second is water safe, and third is water land area and reservoir conservation zones. Okay, it's next. About water conservation zone for domestic consumption and use. Let me highlight one key position. These zones, this setting is inclusive for drinking and household use, assuming both water quality and sufficient quality. This approach reflects the cost principle of water tennis and water government, drinking water and the high possibility, enforcing the human right to safe and reliable water on. The next is next. About what water says. Water says zone. Water says zones deploys quality for forest, upland, land regulate water flow. Processing then demonstrates how water tunnels in interscale big forest tunnels and land use planning. This then focus the message that sustainable water development requires cross-sector coordination not isolate water policies. And now, and it's a government and implement process. The implementation of water possession zone for practice priority and multi-level government process. The Department of Water Resource works closely with provincial and district authority, local community, reviewing technical sector. The process includes community consultation, field survey and data connection, GIS-based mapping and modality demarcation. That's staff and approach of local regulation. This process strengthens legitimacy and local ownership, which is the basis for effective water training system. And there are several innovation elements in this approach. First, the use of scientific tools such as GIS mapping and climate possibility data support in wide-based decision making. Second, inclusive participation ensure the women in this minority and vulnerable household involved with. Third, the approach promotes cross-sector coordination between water, land use, forest, and resource management. So I want to show in the Lao acumen and the output of this creation of water conservation zone for consumption and use at Kili village in the southern of Laos. For example, we have a Kili village in the Champasak province, accessible drinking water protection zone with officially approved local regulation. And we have a civil village in Savanakhet province, focused on watershed protection to focus of the system water resource. And we have a non-rely village. Besides this domestic water protection zone to screen safe water for households. This pilot case demonstration how water tuning. This is simple and put at the community level. So clear zoning locally key rules and in this to moving beyond to the government outcomes. So this for Kili village saya sangat sembun district in the Champasak province for the district water conservation zone for domestic consumption and use. And the next is the non-reliability. And the next is the surveillance. So thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seng Pasuk Sayafong and Mr. Manotam Siafong. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's really brief and I really enjoy it. But to give a context to our participants today, Laos is a landlocked country. It has mountainous areas, dense forest, the terrain is rugged, and with high plateaus, with mighty rivers and torrential ones. So, in the context of what has been presented, we have learned that the amazing land of Laos is actually doing more than just water governance. It's taking water conservation into zones, and it's also allowing people and the government to have a dialogue on how to conserve water. So it is a real appreciation of us to listen to this presentation this afternoon. All together with us in Laos, there are also other colleagues from the ministry. We have the Department of Fisheries there, yeah, also presented, and also colleagues from the University of Laos joining offline from the capital of Laos. So participants, allow me now to open some question and answers for the moment being. Is there any direct questions that would like to be raised here? Or you can use the Q&A box to send your questions about the presentations. Allow me now to open time for question and answer. Anybody? Is there any questions to be raised? Great. Sophia, please, time is yours.
Thank you. First, I wanted to thanks again, Her Excellency His Excellency for being here and for the colleagues. I wanted to learn a bit more about the process on how did you come with this document, and if you're already in the implementation phase or you had some moments that you can share this document also with some local stakeholders, and if you can tell us a bit more about this process. And also, I wanted to know from your context, how do you? It was really interesting to see that you define cultural places, and I wanted to know how do you define those in this process. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. I think I will give the floor back to our law colleagues to give a short response on the question from Sophia.
Yes, so thank you for everyone to join and interested in our experience. So this is really first step that we try to apply. So after we have like a minister agreement on set up or identify the water protected area. So DWR, we have like a guideline. We develop the guideline. How can we identify the water protected zone? As I just mentioned that we have eight purpose that we use. So now we apply in the southern part of Laos, and most of the community, they are interested to do the water protected zone for the water consumption. And now they identify and how many kilometers that they would like to do the protected area, and in that area they will do the consultation with the within their community, and that how many kilometers that they not allowed to allocate to how to say infrastructure, to do the infrastructure like industry or do the waste water around there. You cannot release the wastewater in that area. So this is the first stage that we are discussion with the community, and the district level, they will issue the regulation in the district level to identify that, okay, this is the protected area, and the community, they will working and do a monitoring together within their community. I hope that I can answer your question.
Thank you. I think, Sophia, it has been answered by Messiah Fong quite clearly. But if I may, there's another question coming up from the floor from Adriana Megar. Adriana, would you like to directly ask the question online, or should I read it? Unless you can raise your hand if you want to directly address the question, Adriana.
Yeah, sure. It's actually just a very
Sure.
brief question, because I read in the presentation that you involve local communities in the consultation meeting. So I wanted to know if there's more involvement with local communities, for example, in monitoring roles, monitoring or co-managing the conservation zones. Thank you so much.
So is there any additional response that you would like to add from our Lao colleagues to what has Adriana raised up? Okay.
So team just
Okay,
speak
please.
it out now. I try to translate. So just
Oh,
give us.
okay. Yes, no worries at all.
Okay, so after we everyone in the community, they agree to set up the water protected area. So they will set up like the committee in their own community, and also the head of village and also the district level also do the monitoring with them. That okay, they have, because they have their own regulation in their village, in their community. So in every community don't have the same regulation. Some village they not allow to do the industry like 2 kilometers far from the protected area. But for the other village, they say that is the urban area. They're not allowed to do the in industry in like 1 kilometer. It depends on their discussion and the agreement, and the community, they will set up the committee to do the monitoring and report to the district. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for the additional explanation. So it's like contextualization of the local needs, yeah? I think that will work well according to the water tenure. We still have another question here from Arjit Ghosh, and then after that we would like to go to Yolanda Gomez and later to Solyang Ma. So the question and answer box is getting a little bit wild now. So allow us to ask more question, our law colleagues. Arjit Ghosh, are you still with us? Okay, if Arjit Ghosh, you are still online, if you like to directly ask online, we still have the time for you to go on screen. If not, then allow me to read the question of Arjit Ghosh. The question is, how can marginalized people, particularly women and indigenous community, gain stronger recognition of their water tenure rights in the context of Lao? So this is asking how women, indigenous communities, or marginalized groups can have stronger recognition, because we are talking about contextualization of the local needs and the local interest. Our law colleagues, can you directly respond?
Okay, so when we go to the field, we apply like the IWIN approach and at the community level. And when we have the discussion, so in Lao is really special. Like most of the consultation is the women, because when we go to the field, most of women they are stay at home. They don't go to the field. They don't go. They don't go. How to say? They don't have no need to go to the office. So most of them is the women stay at home, and when we invite them to join, is the like more than 50% is the women to join and discussion. And one more thing, and in Lao we have like we have the Lao Women Union. So especially from the central, provincial, district, and even at the village level, we have the Lao Women Union, that the representative of every woman in their community to speak on behalf of the women. And when we have a discussion, so we try to involve them to the consultation. And now Lao sang sát vậy rồi. Yeah, so.
Okay, so inclusiveness is already on the ground. So within this 8 water conservation zones, people, specifically marginalized groups, particularly women, are also involved in the dialogue and also decision-making process. That's great to hear it. So I would like to go to the third question before opening the mic to Ms. Soliang Ma. I would like to read a question from Yolanda Gomez. She's coming from the Philippines. Her question is, does it mean that within the conservation area, land use is already prescribed? So land use is already regulated within this conservation area. And does the conservation area also delineated on the ground? So the prescription or the land use is already being regulated within this conservation area. So this is the question from the Philippines, from Yolanda Gomez. Would our law colleagues answer the question or the inquiry, please?
Yes, so actually in Lao for the land use, most of the water protected area we use like ดินรวมบ้านนั่นแหละก็ดินรวมนะ Yes, is like the community land. So in that area is not the private land. So if we identify that okay, this is the protected area, but in the ใบตะดินนั่นแหละ the land certification, land certification will issue like this is the community land, but it's not issue like the water protected area. But in the community land, we will identify. So this is the protected zone. We identify like that. We don't issue as the land use certification.
Okay, I think it has been answered. There is, I think, between countries in Southeast Asia, we have also differences in regulating land use. Well addressed that within the Lao context, it has been explained on what kind of approach is being used to manage the land use within the conservation areas. Thank you. I would like to give the mic now and the screen to Dr. Soliang Ma, coming in from Cambodia. Dr. Soliang, are you online now? You have raised your hand, Dr. Soliang?
Yes. Good
Yes,
afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just address your question. Thank you.
Yes, because I observe this is, yeah, thank you very much to Lao Pida for sharing your experience in water tenure arrangement and process. And I observe this as the formal water tenure arrangement. And I would like to know whether there is informal water tenure arrangement in Lapida, whether people are practicing also informal water tenure which arrangement without generated from formal law. Thank you very much. Do you understand my question?
Yes, Dr. Solian, maybe you can explain more about your question, so we cannot catch up that.
Okay, because yes, because you are sharing us the water tenure which water tenure which arrange from formal law, from formal water law, whether you have water tenure arrangement which people are practice without which are not developed from formal law. Like people just use water without any recognition of law.
So,
Without recognition or regulated by law, I mean.
okay. So, for the water use, if I understand correctly, so for Laos, so we have like the regulation on the water permits. So every developer, every private sector, before you going to use the water, so you need to get the water permits ask for the water permits from the Department of Water Resource, Ministry of Agriculture and Environment. So you have to develop the water use plan, how much water that you need, and what is the purpose that you need for. So, and after that, the Department of Water Resources, we will calculate and we will estimate that, okay, how much water that we have and how much water that we can allocate to each sector. I hope that I can answer your question, Dr. Shurian.
Okay.
I see. Dr. Solyang, anything to add up before we move to the next question? Because I think our Lao colleagues have tried to answer about the informal and formalization of water use. Dr. Solyang,
Yes.
kindly.
Yes. Yeah, because I have worked on this, and I also like for example had conversation with Steve Hodgson. He's the one who developed guideline for water tenure.
Yes.
We
Steve
agree.
Hudson is also in this room. You see? Yeah. So it's a
Yeah,
small world indeed.
Yeah, we agree with each other that there are water use which did not require permit when you have it small quantity,
Yeah.
but in any country there are water use
Okay.
without maybe he said that people steal water. Yeah, so I just would like to know about that because we have, for
Yeah.
example, religious water tenure which are agreed by people in the local area,
Yeah.
and they may not request for any law to protect it, but the law protect it
Yeah.
itself. Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yes, so
agreed by
I get,
people.
yeah,
So
I
I would
get
like to
your
know that.
point.
I would like to know that. Yeah, for example.
Okay, so we get your point now. So actually in Lao we divide to the water use like a small scale, medium scale, and big scale. So we have the regulation that, okay, if you use the small scale, you no need to get a permit, but you have to inform us that, okay, you're going to use this. So we divide to the surface water and also the groundwater. So if you're going to use the water for the household and it is a small scale, so you no need to get the permits from the DWR, but you need to inform us that what is the purpose that you're going to use and how can you use how can you release the wastewater after you use something like that. So for the medium scale, so you have to get the approval from the district level, district and provincial level. And for the large scale, you need to get the approval from the central level. Yeah, so we divide like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Soliang, for the question and the good response from our law colleagues, Mr. Seng Pasuk Sayafong. Yes, indeed, informal water agreements, water allocation is existing, but I think the government of Laos is now moving towards institutionalizing such arrangements to make it more formal by, yes, one of the approaches by creating this water conservation zones where people can have a dialogue on how they use water. I think that is what has been answered by our law colleagues. So allow me now to go to the final questions. I think the Q&A box has been filled in. The last question is coming from Han Hyun from the Water Stewardship in Vietnam. If you are online and you would like to answer it, make the question directly, I will give you the time. Han Huynh, are you?
Yeah. So,
Okay, great.
yeah,
Yes.
just quick questions on the sustainability or like the engagement, like how it is gonna kept in, if it's within the project framework or is something that the government put in to maintain the committee that it comes together, because I assume that like a lot of people that are from the community and they probably need to have the livelihood as well. So committing to joining this committee, how are they kind of, do you have any financial support or some mechanism to maintain the committee for long term?
So the questions about financial support, how these arrangements can work on the ground, it requires support from various sources. I think the question is already clear. Our law
Or
colleague,
if you have any mechanism
any mechanism in
to
place then.
motivate,
Yes,
or
okay.
to keep it,
What are the trades-off, here and there to make
Yes.
this mechanism works? I hope our law colleagues can understand the question clearly, and I will give the time to respond.
Okay. So as my colleagues just said that in Laos we have every village we will have like a village fund. Also in the village fund they can use the budget for the maintenance, but most of the water protected zone we don't use much more budget for the maintenance, but it's like we have the regulation of the village, right? So if this area identified as the protected area, so if someone come and do a fishing or do something in that area, so if the committee they see that person, so you will get fine from that person. So it's depend on the community regulation that okay how much they going to fine that person. Maybe it's like a $500 or $1,000 depend on they are doing the wrong thing. because they have their own regulation, and in that regulation is mentioned about the fund also. And after that, they will get that fund in the village fund, and they can use that fund to maintenance and do the monitoring for their community. Yeah.
Okay, clearly answered. I hope that will be enough for the moment, because if you are talking about financing the scheme, yes, indeed, a lot of mechanisms need to be in place. And I think Lao is taking the first step towards a better water governance. So the question and answer box is still running. We still have about 3 minutes. Yolanda Gomez, if you are online from the Philippines, I will give you 1 or 2 minutes to directly address your questions to the forum, if you may.
Yes, so can I give more? So we have the other the department in Lao PDR. If you would like to give some more information, especially Department of Fishery. So if you would like to share some experience, yes, please.
Okay. The colleagues from the Department of Fisheries are here, Fisheries and Livestock. You're joining to this meeting, aren't you? I will give then a 1 minute time or 2 minute time to have a short response from our colleagues from the Department of Fisheries and Livestock from the Lao Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, if you may. Would you like to say something? Okay, if there are no specific response, or how about our Lao colleagues? Would you like to say something in regard? Well, if there's nothing to respond from the Lao side, then the last question will be from Yolanda Gomez. I have given her the time to open her microphone, but it seems that she prefers to ask to the question box. The last question is, how do you develop the capacity of the community to enable them to do the conservation activities? Meseng Pasuk, can you answer it?
No. Yes, as I mentioned that this is really early stage for us, and this is the first pilot project from last year. So we're doing, so as I mentioned that we have a guideline for the district level and also for the community level. Anyway, we need to let's get the lesson learned from the community that we just apply the pilot project. So is this work for them or not, or if they have any issue or any problem when they implementing the project. So we need to do the capacity. We need to extend to the other village to make sure that okay, is this suitable in their area. So this is also the capacity building that we try to do for the district level, and then the district level can work with the community in their area for extend the water protected area for the whole country. And also we try to do it at the university. We encourage the Faculty of Water Resources that we are working with them for the guideline, or when if we have the regulation, the new regulation or new guidelines, so we also involve the university and also try to have them and to do it in the class and as the curriculum.
Thank you for the response. Dear participants, we have been listening to an interesting presentation given by Mrs. Singh Pasuksayafong and also Mr. Manutam Sihafong. Both of them have explained about what the Lao government is now doing on the ground to create conservation awareness through various participatory ways. And this strengthened the integrated water resources management activities within this country. Knowing that Laos is a landlocked country with dense forests, with rugged terrains, it's always interesting to learn how they have managed water by not using only technocratic approaches, but also to involve people at the grassroots level, including inclusiveness, putting women in the dialogue, and also marginalized groups within the process. So I would like to end this question and answer session by first of all thanking for the excellent questions and the rich discussions. But before we close, allow me now to go first to thank His Excellency Mr. Audun Sakilafong from the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, appreciation to the Department of Water Resources and also the Department of Fisheries and Livestock from the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment of the Government of Laos. Thank you for being here. Appreciation to all the discussion and all the support that has been given to this webinar. I would like to close our webinar. Unfortunately, we have only 1 hour and there are 3 minutes left. So allow me by inviting you to attend again such webinars that will happen every Monday in the week up until February, middle of February. The recording today and also the presentation slides will be made available on the FAO site. A link will be shared with the registered participants once the materials are uploaded. The session topic will be also inviting speakers from other places, from Southeast Asia. Next week, we are having from GWP Malaysia about the concept of water tenure in Malaysia. As today we have heard about what the efforts of the Lao government is doing. We encourage you all to stay connected, as further webinars will be continuing to explore the practical experience and regional experience within the region on water tenure. Yes, we also will have more interest in how to develop knowledge, to have dialogue. And thank you for joining us today. We hope that this session has been informative and inspiring to you. And we look forward to welcoming you all in the future editions of the Water Tenure Mondays. So if there's nothing more to add, Sophia, allow me now to close the webinar. A very big thank you for all you Lao participants that has addressed a wonderful discussion and insight us in the new things on what's happening in Laos. And also to all of you who had been joining this from everywhere around the corner, around the world. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. And we would like to see you again on the next Water Tenure webinar organized by FAO and GWP Southeast Asia. Thank you.